Hi.
Hey.
This is when you say hey.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
We have a special edition, girls only podcast. We kicked Darius out.
Yeah.
And we're taking over. So hi, welcome. I'm Bree, obviously. This is Miranda and Jahleyxs. Why don't you tell the people how long you've been coming to the block?
I've been coming for over a year now.
Wow.
About June of last year when I started.
What a time.
It was.
Miranda?
I've been coming probably for a year and a half consistently.
Wow.
But it's
They're
awesome.
newbies. Been here a decade. Super excited to have them on the podcast because we're talking about missions today. And both of these girls have the privilege of going to Guatemala on our last mission trip. I could not make it. I know you guys are wondering why I didn't go. I was a teacher. And I had to teach kids. It was the last week of school. But they got to go. And so we're going to talk about local missions. We're going to talk about going internationally and just the importance of them. So why don't you guys tell us about Guatemala? If you had to sum it up in like one word, what would it be? And don't say mission.
Well, this is 2 words. I would say like life-changing.
Why do you say that?
It was really good. I think just being put out of, like getting taken out of like your normal life and then like being put somewhere you've never been. And then like being able to just be the hands and feet of Jesus was like so good. And then of course the kids, they're great.
Yeah.
My favorite part.
There's a lot of them too.
Yeah.
They're like
there was
everywhere.
So many.
Yeah.
There was so many.
Lovely.
For me, I'd say it was definitely a spiritual perspective, and it was a change in my spiritual perspective. And just being able to, like Miranda said, to go off of what she said, like being able to come out of your normal life and go somewhere where you're not very used to. It was very, eye-opening to see what the families go through and what little they have, but the faith that they had in, just us that come and provide them groceries or, play with their kids and just give them a time. It may be just like an hour or so, but they remember that for like the rest of their lives. And it was just, it's a spiritual blessing as well. We weren't just blessing them with something physical, but also spiritual, leaving them with something. But,
So sweet. Was this y'all's first mission trip?
yes. it
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
My first time out the country, too.
Wow, look at you. Congratulations.
I'm thinking my passport now.
Yeah, I do remember you having a scramble a little bit. That's awesome. Okay, well, how was it transitioning back? Because, when you're there, like you said, you're out of your comfort zone and you can just like be fully present, and then you come back and it's like first world problems, like back to normal life.
Yeah.
How was that transition back?
It was hard at first because like I like went through the first month, like I was like, man, am I called to like the mission field? Like I'm like, Lord,
Yeah.
like I love it so
Quit my
much.
job, moving
no,
out there.
literally, I'm like, what would be the worst thing?
Yeah.
And it was great, but I think also just like missing them, but also like that was also like an encouragement to like keep going and like continue the mission here at home.
Yeah.
Because like it just reminded me of the people that I know in my personal life that like need Jesus. So. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a spiritual high. I think I talked to Lorne about that maybe a week or so after, and she like explained to me that it's not something you just where you leave it there and you just come back home
It's like, wah, wah.
and it's
Yeah.
like wah. Like you can keep that going. Like you can do it in your city. You don't have to go out the country to be on a mission. Just like we did Sunday night. Like we served and we helped local missionaries help in our own city.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to, when you're in like a foreign country, like everything is different. You're living with different people. It's just like completely pushed out of your normal environment. It's very easy to like do things that are more bold than you would normally do. Because you're like, I'm on a mission trip. It's like I don't have no problem sharing the gospel because I'm on the mission trip, and like I can speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to like not need a translator quite yet. And so I feel like sometimes we're more bold outside of our homes or like outside of our city. So what would you say for someone that like, or I guess in your experience, how have you carried that boldness into like local missions, like as you've transitioned back, or have you, or has it been challenging? But how have you been as bolder since coming back? Maybe is the question. And it's okay if you haven't, because life, it's fine.
Yeah, I think since being back, like it's really just like challenged me to like, what was I gonna say? My mind just like everything left. Just like to like keep on loving, and then like also like remembering that like it's not about me like at all. Like this
Yeah.
life is like has nothing to do with me, but like just really like honoring God in all that I do.
Yeah.
So like it's really like I guess just really push that more like into reality for like for me to live it out. So
Yeah.
it's been good.
That's awesome. Has it been harder for you?
I wouldn't say it's been harder. It definitely has challenged me as well.
Yeah.
To just keep on serving others. Like I served on the mission trip, and then one of the points from Sunday was like serving others, serve God. So it's just like keeping that reminder in your head that what you do for others, what you do for the Lord.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, it's been a little challenging. Sometimes it's a little hard to just how do you approach someone. It's all about how you approach someone. I mean, what's the worst that could happen if you ask them, do you know Jesus, or invite them to the BLOC Sunday?
Yeah.
So I've actually had an encounter at a car wash where I invited someone. They didn't come, but I played that.
Hey, you stepped out
Yeah.
of faith.
Yeah.
How did that conversation go? Because I feel like sometimes people are like, when they hear the word evangelism, they're like, oh my God, I have to like, go up to these random strangers and be like, have you heard about Jesus? Have you heard about Jesus? It's like kind of intimidating. So how did you like do that in a way that was normal?
I was kind of shutting this person down because well, they came to me and they're like, hey, can I get your number? And I was just like, hey, do you go to church? and he was like,
flipping the script.
Yeah, flipping the script. And I was like, well, we have this young adult ministry. He looked really young. So I was like, I asked him and he was like, okay. And I gave him the BLOC's Instagram. And I was just like, if you want to pop out Sunday night, then you can. You're very welcome. But I didn't see him, so.
Because he wanted your number. He
Praying for
didn't want to
him.
come to church.
Praying for
But
him.
that's great that it's like, it could be as easy as an invite and also as intense as sharing the gospel, but like there's shades of it in between,
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so if someone like wants to go internationally, like let's say they want to go to Guatemala, they want to leave the country, but can't quite do that yet because it costs a lot of money to go to town. I mean, you raise fund, you fundraise and people help you and that things like that. But if they can't go overseas or leave the country, how would you encourage them to serve where they're at?
Sunday night kind of like put that in my perspective because I always wondered how like you can serve without going out the country. Well, it's more like if
When you think of missions, you think of a mission trip.
You think of going out the country, but you can do it wherever you're at. And like just like the homeless outreaches that we have on Saturdays, it's more as like you give someone what they can. Jeez,
That's what you wrote down because you forgot.
I forgot my notes, guys. I think there was an example, help me here, where they talked about like just giving someone something. We're moving on. Yeah.
I don't remember, but I'm sure Darius did a great job explaining that. Go rewatch Sunday's message.
I hand this over to Miranda.
I think one way that they could get plugged in would be like, one thing I've been learning a lot this year is like growing where I'm planted. And like that's like for me getting more involved at the BLOC, getting more involved like in all the areas in my life. And I think it'd be like a good thing to be like to pour into ones that can go. So like even if it's serving at church and like whether it's helping pass around an offering bucket or teach kids about Jesus, like like you're preparing and you're helping, like you're making an impact either way. And God can take the littlest thing from opening a door and like make it the biggest thing for someone else's life. So,
I love that. I think people underestimate the impact of just getting plugged in, because also if you do plan on going on a mission trip soon or in the future, like I feel like some people feel like they need to be at a certain place before they can go. So it's like, okay, if it's not in the cards for you right now, what can you do now so that when you're ready to go spiritually, you're like,
I definitely
can handle
felt
it,
that way.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that way right before, and I was just like, I don't even feel like spiritually ready. Like I feel like I need like a better heart posture right now in order to go. And I was just like, it's okay. I was like, the Lord had a provision for me. He provided, and I'm gonna go there. And I came back not the same. So it's just about going there, doing what you're called to do, and you come back, you're just like, wow, you're in awe of the Lord and everything He has done for you, and He's like, giving you the strength to do for those that you were called to help. It was good. And, like I also want to like shout out like the one way team because they're just awesome. Like
they are.
There's this. If y'all don't know who the one way team is, there's this community in Guatemala that go and serve their city. And they basically, most of them lay their lives down for the Lord because most of them do not get paid for what they do. But they go each and every day to their city and they provide for these families. They do these outreaches in the camps and they hang out with the little kids. They go and pray for the families, and most of them don't get paid to do this. So they're doing it out of their heart for the Lord. And what they do, what the scriptures, what the notes say, what the notes say is that serving others serves God. And they do this each and every day. And it's just, I was in awe of them. And it encouraged me to step more out into my faith and do the same for my city, even if it's not a lot. But yeah.
I think what's the most encouraging about the one-way team is that they're like our ages. You know, like they're not like, 40, like established with like, kids and things like that. Like they're just, I think of them as like the Guatemala BLOC, and they just like go into their city. I mean, they feed thousands and thousands of people like every week. And so it's just really great. I think there's also like what happens when you go just out of your normal comfort zone, which I know people that have gone on like local mission trips, like in the country, like to Houston or not out of the country, but like just somewhere locally, or like New York, out of the state. But I think it just gives you a deeper appreciation when you go out of the country, because like money is different out there. Yeah. So like $20 for us buys way more over there. So it's like I remember when I went to Guatemala last, we were like putting together money to buy pizza, and I was like, oh, I have like $10-15, like, sure, like 20, whatever. So we all just kind of like put together what we thought was like nothing, and it fed like an entire village. I mean, Darius were like I would have got McDonald's with that money. It would have been like not that helpful, but it was able to buy boxes and boxes and boxes of pizza for like entire families. And so I think sometimes you just need that perspective shift to be like, hey, what I think is small, God can multiply. Absolutely. And sometimes it takes just like catapulting in a new country and like not knowing the language, for most of us, and just figuring it out, and then seeing how the Lord uses what we think is little, which is not little at all. And so you get back to the States and it's like, okay, if I could do that out there, I can do stuff here too.
You can do so much with so little.
Yeah.
You move mountains with just a mustard seed.
Yeah. Amen. Any final thoughts on missions? Anything you would urge the people to do?
Get plugged in. Serve.
Please. Join a serve team.
Join a serve team, yes.
Yes. And also, when people are going on mission trips, support them financially if you can. Because I found, I wasn't able to go to Guatemala, but I'm like, I can, help other people get there and,
there was a
experience
girl that
it
helped me, actually.
Yeah.
I had to, the adopt a box, and I was doing that, and then I got funded most of it. And then maybe a couple weeks later, Darius gives me a call and he's like, hey, this girl wanted to pay for the rest of your trip since she was unable to go. And I was like, Lord, thank you. Yeah. And he just blessed me with that. And that's the thing that stuck with me the whole way is when the Lord has a provision for your life, he provides. Yeah. And Darius said that the message before it, I got that call and everything, and I was just like, wow.
Won't he do it?
So won't he do it?
Absolutely.
Sure will.
Yay. Well, so sweet. Well, thanks for joining us, girls.
Of course.
We love you guys, and we will see you on a serve team. We're all on one, right?
See you this Sunday.
Yeah, see y'all Sunday. Love y'all.